But what through workshop can we bring?
You hear some things?
Oh, well, Okay, that's a big
Yes, you put it right here.
Oh, yeah, right.
Obviously, that's sentences.
So like,
I'm missing. I've got a little light on.
So you just give me the thumbs up, which special can.
Easy.
Good afternoon, everybody, and a special December welcome to councillors and staff and those joining online and in the public gallery at what is a very busy time of year. We'll begin the meeting with the acknowledgement of country, and I'll invite Councillor Ryan to read the acknowledgement for us, please.
Thank you, Mayor. We begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today and pay our respects to their elders past and present. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today.
Thanks, Councillor Ryan, and I'll invite Councillor Taylor to read the prayer for us, please.
Christians be upstanding.
Almighty God, we humbly beseech your blessing on the council. Direct and prosper its deliberations for the welfare of the people of the Moyne Shire. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Edstein, we don't have any apologies today.
No, we don't. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any councillor declarations of conflict of interest that need to be declared today? If there are none, I'll move to the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held in this chamber on the 26th of November 2024. Had opportunity to peruse those. Sorry, before I get to that, I will just pause to remind people that we are live streaming today's meeting. So the meeting today is being live streamed and can be viewed by the general public via Council's Facebook page and later uploaded to the website. So by participating in and addressing those present at the meeting, you are consenting to any information you disclose, including personal information or sensitive information, being recorded and uploaded to the website. Thank you. I'll adjust my running sheet next time. So the confirmation of the minutes from November 26. If there is no discussion or concern about those, I'm seeking a rebut. They're a true and accurate report. Thank you, Councillor Murray. Seconded. Councillor Lockett, do you wish to say anything or speak to that? No. Councillor Lockett?
Barry. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll give that to the vote. All those in favour, please. That is carried 7-0. We don't have any public participants at today's meeting, so we move directly to officer reports. And I'll begin with item 2.1, which is the monthly finance report, and I'll refer to our Director of Corporate and Governance, Mr. Ed Small, please.
thank you very much, Mayor. Councillors, I'd like to present this report to you today. We've got the regular report. This is for the 5 months into November 2024. I'm pleased to say we are tracking online with our budget largely, which is very comforting. We've got a a small year-to-date favourable surplus of 297,000, which is very good. We are forecasting a year-end operating result of a favourable 2.4 million, which is very satisfactory. But unfortunately, our underlying deficit forecast is looking like it might be 227,000 below the budget, which is sorry, a deficit of 427,000, which is below the budget, and it's disappointing. So we'll work hard as officers to try and bring that result back into balance. And I just refer you to table 1 on third page in, which reflects the summary of the overall position. But I do need to draw your attention to something, which is that we inadvertently and in error included a update of the skate and play project, where we brought into our records under C. We said that we were going to spend $150,000 on additional activities, and we identified 2 areas of saving of corresponding $150,000. That really has been done prematurely and is an error. So I'm suggesting that we might want to change the council recommendation to recognise that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Small. I will call for questions at this point. Councillors.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Mr. Small, on page 59, as you highlighted, I note that there's an upgrade to the C of A building in Detroit. Did that ever come to workshop?
Give Mr. Small a moment to find.
Not prepared to, I'm not in a position I can actually answer that question. I might ask Ms. Farrell, she might have a better idea, I don't know.
Ms. Farrell?
Thank you, through the Mayor. That item has previously come to workshop. At that point in time, it was in relation to upgrading the facility for the VEC offices, which council didn't support at the time. Since then, however, it has been determined that we required more office space for staff, and the upgrade is occurring, but it's actually being funded almost in whole by an external funding, which is part of the previous flood money we received back in October 2022. So those works are occurring with some external expenditure. And the intent, based now retrospectively on how we have found the process to operate with the VEC, which operated from the Mortlake old post office at quite an expense to council. It will actually be a efficiency into the future, because there is an opportunity to use that for further moving staff out of the Blackwood Centre, and the VEC could actually use the Blackwood Centre in future. The old CFA building, as well as housing some offices, will also be a kiosk for emergency recovery.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell.
Oh, can we use money for this building works?
Through there, yes, we've been approved to utilise the money because of the component that we've proposed to be a kiosk for recovery operations. So I don't know if you recall, councillors, but previously in fires, the Blackwood Centre at the front where the wedding shop is now was previously used as a kiosk area where, in an emergency, community members could go to that site. We had computers and iPads set up so people could access information, whether it's through the social security services and other agency support. So the intent is that, and that's how we're funding it.
So in the report where it says the project will be fully funded from a reduction in building renewal works, that's not going to happen.
No, so we're now, through the Mayor, we're now offsetting that by a grant that we've only just received notification. We'd put in for it, so we were extremely confident that we would get the money, but the building renewal was a backup, but we no longer need that.
So without that, the building renewal, somebody somewhere or some building will miss out. We hadn't got that money.
I'll take that as a rhetorical.
No, I'm
Yeah,
asking the question, is
Okay,
Through the
we're
mayor,
gonna miss out of, you know, on one part of the Shire to do something in another part?
Ms Farrell.
through the mayor, as I stated, the officers were very confident that we would receive those funds based on how we propose the use of the building to be.
All right, any further questions to Mr Small in relation to the finance report? If not, I'd be seeking a motion in relation to 2.1. We have got a recommendation there. Councillor Murray,
Through you, Mayor, I would like to propose an amended motion to this item.
would you like to read that for us?
Yes. That council receive and note the monthly finance report as at 30th of November 2024, with the 3 forecast budget variations reflected in the table in Appendix C being deleted, and that council defer recommendation 2 of item 2.1 in relation to the Port Fairy Skate and Play project be deferred as this matter is premature.
Thank you, Councillor Murray. I'm seeking a seconder for that motion, please. Councillor Lockett. Thank you. Councillor Murray as the mover. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon.
Yes.
Mr. There, my apologies to you, to the council.
Some clarification. Do you have a copy of that alternate recommendation?
I do. Do you,
So was what provided by officers?
through you, Mayor, I requested this amended motion.
And it came from
Provided to me.
provided.
Councillor Murray has moved the motion and it's been seconded by Councillor Lockett.
So why haven't we all have a copy? If you can provide one copy, why can't you provide 7?
Well, I think it's perfectly fine for a councillor to move a motion, but are you asking for a copy of
I
that?
would like, it just defies logic that we couldn't all get a printed copy in advance. Seriously, not that difficult.
Organise for that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Mr Small.
Well, don't worry about it now. I mean, it's done and dust. I'm just saying, in hindsight, we should have all been given it. If Councillor Murray, he can have a copy given to her.
Yep.
Which is the right way of doing things. Why couldn't we all get a hand of the copy at the same time?
Okay, that's noted. Thanks, Councillor Dukas. Okay, so as
But take note
as
of
the
the note.
mover of the motion, Councillor Murray.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. I'm happy to move this as the finance report. However, being that item 2.1 did make it into the finance report prematurely, I'm happy to move this based on that amended recommendation.
Thanks, Councillor Murray. Councillor Locke. Reserve your right. Does any other councillor wish to speak for or against this motion?
So another clarification, Councillor Murray, he said 2.1.
Have we got a copy there?
What's 2.1?
Item 2.1 is the monthly.
Yeah, I know,
Get a copy of the-
Councillor, please.
thank you.
I'll give you a moment to read that, Councillor Dukas. I'm inviting the councillors to speak for or against this motion.
Okay, keep going. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so you nothing that you would like to speak to there, Councillor Dukas?
Not yet.
Right, so I'll come back to you. If there are no other councillors, I'll come back to you, Councillor Lockett. You've reserved your right to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, good to see we're in a good financial position this time of year coming into Christmas. And yeah, I think it'd be good to move that item to discuss later. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, and I'll return to you as the mover, Councillor Murray. Anything further to sum up?
No, sorry,
Yes.
I need time. You
I did.
cut me off a bit short.
We'll give you some time, Councillor Dukas.
So it says here, financial report 30th of November 2024 with the 3 forecast budget variations. But it doesn't, I might be a bit presumptuous here, but it doesn't state which ones. There's a heap under current variations. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Councillor Murray, would you like to clarify which of the
It
three
says
forecast budget variations you're referring to in your?
May I pass this over to Mr. Small?
Well, it'll be your motion, but I think it was
it
discussed.
would be better if it was identified.
Sure, understand. So would you like to be the three that we've discussed earlier?
Gate, park and play.
All that were relating to the Port Fairy Skate and Play project be removed as it has come prematurely.
So can I say that to me, it's skate and play, Victoria Park lighting and workers accommodation.
Correct.
Those are three.
Yes.
I'm just double checking. So it'll be the first 4 items.
Three. It's only three. I think,
Fairy Skate and Play, Big Park and workers accommodation. So I'll just reiterate the Port Fairy Skate and Play.
The 150,000 one, not the one,
150,000.
not the $1 million job.
No. Victoria Park Lighting Project, which was $50,000. And the workers accommodation initiative of $100,000 would be not noted in moving the monthly finance report.
anything further, councillor?
No, that's, I think it's been stated what the three are. I'm glad the Victoria Park lighting project, 50,000 has come out. It's changed from the workshop because I think the workshop had about 63,000 in it, the workshop papers. And I think the saving was around 73. So if we keep going like this, we'll have no savings.
Okay, so we are at a point where we're ready to put the amended the motion. This is an amended one. Put this motion to the vote. We're all clear on that. Everybody's clear on exactly what we're voting on. I will put that to the vote. All those in favour, please. Is carried 7-0. Thank you. Right, so we move now to item 2.2, which is the public holiday in lieu of Melbourne Cup. And again, I'll call on our Director of Corporate and Governance, Mr. Small, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, we have the Parliament in the regions not to have the Melbourne Cup holiday, but we need to select another holiday if we don't want to have the Melbourne Cup holiday. And what we've done in the past is we've selected the Warrnambool Cup Day. And as we've done this for a number of years, we are recommending to the council that they gazette the Warrnambool Cup Day to be the public holiday in the Melbourne Cup for the Melbourne Cup Day for 2025 and also for future years, because we bring this report up every year. I just want to bring one matter to your attention that there is a D left off the officer recommendation. It should have been gazetted, not just gazette. So I apologise for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Small. Okay, so are there any questions to Mr. Small in relation to this item? No? So we do have a recommendation there with the addition of a D at the end of Gazette. So I'm seeking a mover, please. Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Thank you. A seconder, please. Councillor Murray. Councillor Taylor, would you like to speak to that, please? That's fine. Councillor Murray, the seconder, any comments?
I wholly support this. I think it makes sense that we swap out the Melbourne Cup Day for a local Cup Day. It's daycares, schools also seem to be closed on that day, so I think it's the right decision.
Thank you, Councillor Murray. Any other councillors who'd like to speak for or against this motion? If not, Councillor Taylor, I'll come back to you as the mover. Is there anything you'd like to say to sum up?
It just again reiterating what Myra said, it makes sense. It's in line with our other councils close by. So yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. I'll now put that one to the vote. Item 2.2, the public holiday in lieu of Melbourne Cup. All those in favour, please. Thank you. That is carried 7-0. 2.3, the ordinary council meeting schedule for 2025. Again, please, Mr. Small, would you introduce this item?
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, what we do each year is we set out the table of schedule of ordinary council meetings across the year so that if we can put this on a website and people become aware of it. We have maintained the same rhythm as we had from the previous calendar year, where we've had the meetings scheduled for the 4th Tuesday of the month, except I must draw attention to December next year, which will be due Tuesday, the 16th of December. And we've scheduled for 2 o'clock at the Mortlake office, as we've had previously. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Small. Any questions in relation to this schedule for 2025? If not, I have a recommendation before us and I'm seeking a motion, please. Councillor Murray and seconded Councillor Ryan. Thank you. Councillor Murray.
No, I'm happy to move this. So it makes sense. It's what our community is familiar with. So I'm happy to move this.
Thank you very much. Councillor Ryan, the seconder.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, it's great to have consistency across the board and continuing into 2025.
Thank you. Any councillors wanting to speak for or against? If not, we'll put that to the vote. Item 2.3. Those in favour, please. Carried 7-0. Moving now to item 2.4, the event support policy, and I'll call on our Director of Environment, Economy and Place, Ms Jodie McNamara, to introduce this to us, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, the event support policy has recently been reviewed. It is aiming to pick up on those matters which require updating, such as accessibility requirements, diversity, and various other regulations that we need to comply with. The matter of the marquee has been removed from the policy, but overall it is has been updated. It is aimed to support our over 120 events that we have throughout Moyne Shire during the year, and we are hoping that it will make the process a little bit smoother for applicants going forward. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms McNamara. Questions in relation to this item? Oh, Councillor Dukas first.
Oh, thank you. Ms McNamara, there you go. Number 10, to provide resource material and equipment. Would there be a cost associated with that?
Through you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Dukas. No, there isn't. No cost.
No cost. So follow-up would be if like Anzac Day in Koroit, which is very well attended, if we needed we get the fencing from the Irish Festival, so we need a couple of signs like diverting traffic away because there's so many people. Shire would do that for us.
Through you, Mayor, I believe that our officers would fully support the request. If there were any additional costs, we would have to look at that at the time, but the intent is to...
So between the Shire and the
support.
volunteers, we
Yes.
could do it without having to send them a bill.
And in relation to that, Councillor Dukas, I did supply, that event, the organisers of that event, with some information about that. So it's all in hand, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Or Councillor Lockett?
Thank you, Mayor. Question to Mrs McNamara, I'm sorry. For the 120 events that we have across the Shire, is there anything in particular to highlight so people might go, oh, there's a big change to the policy? Is that it's not a huge dramatic shift in our policy, am I correct?
Through you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Lockett. Not a huge shift. It has been updated to reflect those parts of building requirements, accessibility, diversity and inclusion, that sort of thing, that adequate signage is put in place. But very, I guess, not a substantial alteration of the policy. Pardon me.
Other questions? If not, we do have an officer recommendation before us, and I'm seeking a motion, please. Councillor Murray, thank you. Second book by Councillor Ryan. Councillor Murray, please.
This seems like a relatively standard policy update. And I really am supportive of the work. I think this is a great thing that we offer to events in our community. As Councillor Lockett stated, over 120 events in our Shire. So I think this is a really good way that we can support them as a council.
Councillor Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I'd just like to say the huge part that events play within our region, both through economic development benefits. It's great to see that there's a diversity, equity and inclusion lens being placed over this policy as well, making it more accessible, and that we recognise the hard work that our community do in providing events for our region. So I strongly endorse.
Thanks, Councillor Ryan. And it was remiss of me, sorry, we should have acknowledged Mr. Darby Lee, who's our manager of economic development and tourism. I hope I had your title correct, but welcome to the meeting, Mr. Lee. Is there any councillors who wish to speak for, again, or against this motion? If not, I'll return to Mr. Mover. Councillor Murray to sum up.
Nothing further, thank you.
Thank you. I'll put that to the vote. Item 2.4. All those in favour, please. Carried 7-0. Item 2.5 is the Business Facade Improvement Program. And again, I'll call on you, Ms. McNamara, please, to tell us about this one.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, the 24-25 Business Facade Improvement Program has been completed, and we have got several successful applicants for that initiative. It is a little undersubscribed this year, but the works the value of 22,800 are considered to be worthy of awarding, and we commend those projects to council for adoption. Thank you.
Questions from councillors? Not, I will seek a mover of a motion to this item, please. Councillor Ryan, thank you, and seconded by Councillor Lockett. Councillor Ryan.
It's thank you, Mayor. It's wonderful to see an even spread of this program across the Shire, and it's great that we are able to provide that support to our local businesses.
You, Councillor Lockett.
Thank you, Mayor. As Councillor Ryan said, it's a great program. You'll see a great spread across the Shire, which is a phrase we'd love to hear. We have a very diverse community across our great Shire, and yeah, we see that things are slowly starting to drop off a little bit with the program. So, I think in the new year we're looking to reinvigorate or look at some diversifying that program, hopefully. So,
thank you, Councillor Lockett. Any other comments from councillors for or against this motion? No. Councillor Dukes? No. If not, I'll come back to you as the mover, Councillor.
No further comment.
Thank you. We'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? Carried 7-0. Pardon me. We'll move to councillors' items. 3.1, Mayor and Councillor activities, which you have before you. Any commentary or queries in relation to the activities? As was noted earlier, we haven't had a lot of time to get stuck into this just yet. No, so we'll note that. Item 3.2 is the councillor notice of motion, of which there are none. 3.3, general matters. Do we have any general matters for noting today, please? Councillor Murray.
Through you, Mayor. I just wanted to highlight that this evening the Big Park lighting is officially being opened. I wanted to thank the Project Management Office here at Council for facilitating that for all their hard work, and acknowledge the contribution that Sport and Rec Victoria made to this project, and also the Correct Football Netball Club. I was at the Big Park Community Asset Committee meeting on Wednesday last week, and they're really excited. They're really excited for this. It opens up a whole avenue of additional things that can be done in that area. It's great for sport in that community and for the community, the broader community. So I'm really excited to get down there tonight if we can wrap this council meeting up in time and show my support for that.
Thanks, Councillor Murray. Other general matters? Councillor Lockett.
thank you, Mayor. Just obviously this time of year, wishing everyone a safe and a happy Merry Christmas, and just to be safe on the roads. We've got our roads are, as we know, some of them are, we're in a process of advocating to improve the quality of those roads, but also to highlight a couple of fantastic events that are on over the summer period. the Moyne Festival, big congratulations to them. They've reinvigorated themselves with a new program and new activities happening. It's been a long, it's been running for many, many years. And 2 lapses back from the New Year's Eve parade, which is a good thing. Also the Orford Vintage Rally, that's a cracker event, which is on the 17th to the 19th of January. And the Croydon Truck Show, 25th of January is also on. And then obviously we've got Australia Day Awards and Healing Ceremony around that date as well. So many fantastic events coming up in the parade, Shire of Moyne. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lockett. Are there any other items councillors would like to raise for general matters? If not, we move to 3.4, which is urgent business. Do we have any? Councillor Lockett.
Thank you, Mayor. We've got this circulated yet, please? Has everyone got a copy?
Has the copies here?
Thank you, Mayor. Do you want me to read it out?
I would like you to, please.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Lockett.
The council consider the Port Fairy skate and play project variation as an urgent matter. Confidential items. Request to consider the urgent matter was unable to be submitted as written notice was given that it was highlighted in the monthly financial report, item 2.1, that the inclusion of the variation was premature and that the decision on whether to engage in the variation had not been made. In providing the information that would have been required in written notice, I provide the following. The proposed motion that the Port Fairy skate and play project variation heard as a confidential item. Reason for the urgency, the item has timelines that require a decision that allows the final design prior to commencement and supporting information.
Sure, if you have to. Yeah.
Port Fairy skate and play equipment upgrade, current project status as of 2024, provided by officers as supporting information to consider this urgent business. The tender documentation previously presented to the OCM in June 24 was undertaken as a confidential item based on commercial information contained within the report, and the same principle applies to this report.
Thank you, Councillor Lockett. Okay, so you're moving the motion that that the Port Fairy skate and play project variation be heard as a confidential item. In summary, thank you. I'm seeking a second for that motion, please. Councillor Ryan. Okay, Councillor Lockett.
To discuss first if it's urgent. Is that?
Oh, I beg your pardon. We have, yes, we need
Just to clarify.
my error there. We do first of all need to move that this be heard as an urgent item. My apology. So you're moving that this be heard as an urgent item.
Correct.
Thank you. And you're happy to second that, Councillor Ryan. Thank you. All right. Councillor Lockett. Well, you've already really spoken to it.
Yeah.
Is there anything
I'm
else?
happy to say, yeah. It's not ideal, but the project is underway and it's nearly Christmas and there's various things that need to be ordered and things like that if we were to. So it's it's definitely urgent for those reasons.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Ryan.
To reserve my right.
Thank you. Other councillors wish to speak for or against this motion?
Yeah.
Councillor Davis.
Yeah. Now, under urgent, it means, if I read it correctly, it's something that cannot wait. And my understanding is that this is about a piece of skate park equipment. Is that correct?
It's in relation to a number of items of equipment, as I understand it, at the skate park in Port Fairy.
Well, that's not. Isn't it the $150,000 skate? Is that one piece of equipment or two?
Through the mayor, so the detail within the report talks about 2 pieces of equipment, one being an extension to the climbing tower and the other being a flying fox. The report, as it's written, refers to both pieces of equipment and how they could be funded across 2 financial years.
Mayor, that's not what the urgent business is about. The flying fox doesn't come into this.
So, through the Mayor, I'm just providing you detail about how many pieces of equipment are referred to in the report.
What are we, under urgent business, we're talking about $150,000, are we not? And the issue is ordering, as we discussed, ordering a piece of equipment, a three-stage slide, where at the current proposal, it's a two-stage slide. Am I correct?
Through the Mayor, it's a climbing tower.
All right, sorry, climbing tower.
An additional extension to the climbing tower, and the urgency relates to not just the ordering of that equipment, but also the requirement for additional design works that would be required in the context of the construction period that's about to commence.
Right, so you're clear, the construction is going to commence the end of January?
Middle of January, through the Mayor.
Middle of January and go through to the end of June.
Through the Mayor, that's correct.
And at the moment, we have a two-tier climbing tower.
That's correct.
And we want to make it a three-tier climbing tower. So the urgency is we must order this three-tier. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody? We've got to order this immediately, like pass this today, order it tomorrow. So it's on site by when? Before work starts. So theoretically, and I'm not a civil engineer, I haven't built the Westgate Bridge or anything, but then again, it fell over. We've already got a two-tier climbing tower. It's going. I'm talking about the urgency. Can somebody explain to me?
Councillor Dukas, there is.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your point of that?
Councillor Dukas has his right at his time to speak about the motion, but he's asking a question, I believe.
Oh, I'm clarifying. I'm not speaking. I'm clarifying the urgency. And someone's trying to tell me here today that if we don't order this after voting for it today, if it gets up and it's voted for, it's going to be the end of the Blake skate park. Because it's that urgent that it has to be ordered first thing in the morning when we've got 5 months. Well, we haven't. We've got 6 months if you count this month. Groundwork starts in January. That play tower mightn't go up till May. My question is, how urgent, seriously, how urgent is it? Does it have to be on site and built and erected within the first week of the works?
I might ask Ms Farrell.
Through the Mayor. So just to re-clarify the issues around the urgency. One, the first point of issue is that there is a requirement to amend the detailed design. So yes, the construction is starting in the middle of January, but the detailed design needs to be amended to accommodate that additional tower because it's at a height. We need to look at the fall area and the surrounding design work. So there's a design component that has to occur before construction commences. The second point of urgency relates to the procurement, and it is very typical that procurement can take between 14 to 16 weeks. So yes, other works can occur while that piece of equipment has been ordered, but the essence of the urgency is around the detailed design component that needs to occur before construction, noting though that procurement does take a number of months as well.
Okay, thank you, Farrell. So that answers the question.
So the urgency is detailed construction work, is that what you call it?
Detailed design?
Detailed design. So at the moment, the detailed design is for a two-tier tower.
Yes, correct.
This is going to cost us $150 to go to a three-tier tower, which is just one tier. I mean, seriously.
Councillor Dukas, we're just debating whether this isn't.
Well, it's not urgent. How can it be urgent when the difference in the works is half a day?
Okay, well,
give us a break, seriously.
Councillor Dukas, I think we've heard from Ms Farrell as to what the officer's view on that is. So we have had the motion is that the Port Fairy Skate and Play project variation be heard as a confidential item in urgent, and this is we're still at item 3.3, 3.4, urgent business. Councillor Lockett has moved that motion. Councillor Ryan has seconded. I'm going to ask you to speak to your motion, Councillor Lockett, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Well explained by Ms Farrell. With the designs, it's it's not ideal. I agree with, well, I don't agree with a lot of Councillor Ducas's questions or comments, sorry, but it's been a long process. This whole, the skate park in Port Fairy was closed in January 2021. That's coming up 4 years. So this has been a long drawn out process, and I think we've learned a lot from this process, but I will get to my point about the urgency of the matter. The design that needs to change, may need to change, fall zones, ordering of equipment, the procurement, it takes time and we need to get that done. So it's urgent. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Lockett. Councillor Ryan, just second that, please.
Yeah. I reserve my right.
Absolutely, that's your entitlement. I'll ask other councillors if they wish to speak for or against this motion. Councillor McCarthy.
Through you, Mayor. I just wanted to very briefly read out some of the information that was provided to councillors today around, it speaks to why this matter is urgent. Removal works for vegetation, Monday, 6th of January commencement. That's very soon. Monday, 13th of January, earthworks for the skate park commencing. Convict will be on site from the 28th of January. We do not have another council meeting between now and then. So this is a project that has been so severely delayed over years and years. I would hate for something like this to cause further delays. It clearly states in the document that we were provided that this is not just that the reason for the urgency is that it affects the place-based layout, the size and provision of softfall, and procurement timeframes. It's very, I feel it's been very clearly explained as to the urgency of this matter, and I am happy to speak for it.
Thank you, Councillor Murray. Other councillors wish to speak for or against the motion that's before us? If not, I'll come back to you. Would you like to exercise your right to speak,
Mayor? Yes.
Councillor Ryan?
Oh, sorry, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I'd like to speak against the motion.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Having heard what the councillors speaking for the motion have said, I still can't for the life of me understand how people say this is urgent. And I'll be watching closely to see what earthworks are done on the 6th of January.
6th of Jan, it says on the bit of paper that you've got there.
You get more pieces of paper than I do, sorry. Anyway, so the urgency is there's a 2-tier going up. So that's already been designed. The area has been designed. Softfall, if you need to add an extra metre of softfall, how long does that take? 5 minutes? Pick up a bag of softball, walk across and dump it. About procurement, we don't know whether they're there or not. If it's not able to procure this piece of equipment till August next year, are we still going ahead with it?
Councillor Dugas,
I'd like to know.
Question.
Yeah, that's a good.
I will allow it, but we had opportunity earlier for questions. I will just allow.
Yeah, but I can ask questions during my deliberation.
Speaking to the motion, but go ahead. But yes, but you can.
Yeah, of course I'm entitled to ask the question. I'd like to know if we can't get this piece of equipment in time and it's meant to be finished by end of June, then what happens?
Through the Mayor, so in addressing that hypothetical question, so as we know it currently, the procurement will take between 14 to 16 weeks. If by some chance there was a delay, we would still be able to install it because the critical thing is actually taking account of the detailed design considerations that need to occur when the project first commences. So they could be added later, but we would have to be doing the detailed design costs now to ensure that it is going to within the footprint of that area. So the playground is a component of both rubber rock and softball, as in mulch. So some of those elements aren't as simple as just chucking some more mulch in.
So in saying that, maybe some of us should keep an eye on the progress. And if what's been told here today isn't what happens on site, then maybe some people should reflect on their positions in the Shire. Because I think this is a real deliberate attempt to get us, the councillors, to throw $150,000 through urgency into a playground, into a piece of playground equipment that isn't required for a start. I mean, this is just adding luxury to what's already there. And I think it's really terrible that we put the Shire in this dire position. We've all, as Mr. Small said, we're going to end up in the red. I know they're going to try hard to get us back in the black, but at the moment we're in the red, and here we're going to throw another 150 to get us further into the red.
Councillor,
And I think it's just not right.
The motion is as to whether we do this as later on. So we're not debating the.
Yeah, so what's debated? Councillor Lockett debated it.
Okay, well, thank you. I think I'll now call on Councillor Ryan, who didn't get a chance to exercise her right to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. Just in regards to a couple of points, we are here to make strategic decisions, not operational decisions, and we are guided by the facts provided to us by council officers. And it has been provided to us that these are the requirements needed to make a good decision. The Port Fairy skate and play facility is not a luxury. It's a community requirement, as outlined in the July 2023 playground strategy, which found a number of findings, including a lack of equipment for our community. It is unfortunate that this is going to be moved to confidential, although I do think it is required. It is important to give our community transparency, but it is also important to make a good and sound decision. We are still at concept plans after many years, and the final design, as officers have stated, we need to ensure that we are providing them as much space as possible, but also know that there is urgency around this. There are active contracts and contractors involved, therefore confidentiality is required. And for work to commence in early January, I feel it is important and urgent that this is moved. Thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Ryan. Councillor Locke, I'll return to you as the mover.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't think I could say anything that Councillor Ryan has just there. Thank you, Mayor. We'll put it to the vote.
Let's do that. Okay. Just again, the motion is that the Port Fairy Skate and Play project variation be heard as a confidential item. All those in favour, please. That is carried 5-2. Voting for, could you please leave your hands so I can just be sure? So Councillor Murray, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Ryan, Councillor Lockett. Pardon? I'll have to come back. Sorry, Councillor Foster. And those against is Councillor Ross and Councillor Dukas. Thank you. No, the motion was that the Port Fairy Skate project variation is a confidential.
Right. Yeah. It is now a confidential item.
It is now. We'll debate that shortly.
So a clarification, please.
Yes.
It's going to be discussed in confidentiality.
Yes, Councillor
You
Duke.
just discussed what it is.
The reason for the urgency.
Yeah, but we know we know the value, we know what the item is. So what part of the confidential discussion is going to be separate to what we already know?
The decision has been taken now, Councillor.
No, I'd like to know the difference. Because we can't have a confidential item if it's already been discussed. It's open.
Yeah, just one moment.
It's business. It's business.
Just on a point of governance here, what I'm going to do is we might retake this vote, because what we really needed to do was first of all vote whether this was an urgent motion, and then secondly that we would hear it as a confidential item. So I'm going to, at the risk of confusing everybody, retake this vote. So the first I will seek a mover that the Port Fairy Skate and Play project variation is heard as urgent business. Councillor Lockett. Seconded. Councillor Ryan. Thank you. Councillor Lockett.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to clarify, make sure our governance is tight on this. We've already discussed it, so I'm happy to move the motion that it's urgent.
Thank you. Councillor Ryan.
I reserve my right.
Okay. Any other councillors wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Murray.
Through you, Mayor. I feel confident after perusing our governance rules that this matter does qualify as an urgent business item.
Thank you. Any other councillors?
I just can't see that it's urgent, not that size project,
Thank you.
part of the project.
Yep. Thank you, Councillor Ross. Any others wish to see? Councillor Lucas.
I'm going to speak and vote against it. There is no way you can claim this as urgent business, especially after what we've already discussed. There is no urgency.
Okay.
I mean, if you read what urgent business is, it means it's something that cannot wait. Don't tell me this can't wait. It's anybody who says that this can't wait, seriously, I'll tell you what, we're going to be a laughing stock.
Thank you, Councillor Dukas. I will come back to you, Councillor Ryan. You've reserved your right.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to reiterate why I believe that it's urgent and why I'm seconding this motion, it is a requirement through wanting to commence works in early January, and this is the timeframe required to get those final designs up to speed in order for those changes to be made. And therefore, it is an urgent item to ensure that the entire project is on track and on timeframe. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan. Councillor Lockett.
Thank you, Mayor. I think it's 24 days until they're removing veg and then another week later they're doing groundworks. I don't know how more urgent you want things to be. We don't have another OCM until these works are taking place and we haven't got the final designs. You're discussing the urgency. You're talking about being a laughing matter. Sounds sort of seriously. I don't know, but he's making us look really silly by saying those things.
Your turn.
No, I know, but seriously, I don't want to be labelled
No,
silly
further
altogether.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we are putting this to the vote that this is an urgent item, just to clarify. So all those in favour, please. That is Councillor Murray, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Ryan, Councillor Lockett, Councillor Foster. All those against, Councillor Ross, Councillor Dukas. Thank you. Now I'll seek another motion, second motion, in relation to whether this is a confidential item or it's heard in an open meeting, please. Councillor Lockett.
Thank you, Mayor. We have discussed this a lot, and the reason it's confidential is it is a current project which we have contractors involved with, and with all contractual matters, we discuss them in confidentiality.
So, sorry, Madam Mayor, but you need to clarify how we can move this motion, how we can even put this motion, that it'll be confidential.
Okay.
So this is a motion off the floor.
So Councillor Lockett has just moved that Port Fairy Skate and Play project variation be heard as a confidential item.
Right.
Okay, so that is, and he has moved that. I'm now seeking a seconder to this, please. Councillor Murray. Councillor Lockett, would you like to speak to that?
Yep,
Explain
thank you,
the
Mayor.
reason for confidentiality.
As I just explained, thank you, Mayor, is that it's a project that we have contracts with, and we're halfway through the project. Well, not even halfway through. We're finalising the designs. Contractual matters are always discussed in confidential. This is nothing new. This is nothing untoward. It's not out of the blue. Yes, it's urgency, and it's probably not ideal, and we're learning from it as we go. But it needs to be confidential to discuss and to flesh things out, make sure we get the good result we're after. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Lockett. Councillor Murray, it's a seconder.
Through you, Mayor. I'm a newly elected councillor, so I am still very familiar with the election promises that I made to our community, and one of them was transparency. However, it states very clearly in our governance rules that private commercial information must be heard as confidential items. That is information provided by a business, commercial or financial undertaking that relates to trade secrets or that would unreasonably expose the business, commercial or financial undertaking to disadvantage if released. We are discussing a current ongoing contract. In my mind, there is no way this can't be heard in confidential, and for that reason, I absolutely support this being heard in the confidential agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Murray. Opportunity for other councillors to speak for or
Please,
against the motion. Councillor
Could
Lucas.
someone explain to me how we can hear this as a confidential motion? We've moved a motion, an urgent motion, urgent business motion, that the issue with the tower in the skate park, right, be heard as an urgent motion. So we're going to hear it as an urgent motion. Now someone's moved a motion that would be done in confidentiality, but there's nothing in our agenda or in our rules of regulation that says, unless I'm wrong, that someone has to move the motion from the floor. This is a separate motion.
Yes, that's correct.
Right, so do we, under our rules of regulation, can we move a motion from the floor? Because all we've done is decided there's an urgent motion. Someone has to come up now, and Councillor Lockett's come up and said, yeah, we're going to discuss it, but I want to discuss it urgent, which is a separate motion.
Yes, this is a second.
Right, so the separate motion is it an urgent motion that would be heard in confidentiality? Because that's the only way you can do it.
We'll just use and get some clarification.
Yeah, just bear with us.
You got the first bit wrong.
Discuss it there and then. You don't put up.
For a minute, take us to.
Okay, thank you. So apologies for the brief delay there. So our assessment of the governance rules is that it's nothing that precludes or specifically states and deals with this matter. So the motion is that the Port Fairy Skate and Play project variation be heard as a confidential item. So it's not something specifically currently dealt with in the governance rules as they're written. So essentially, by putting this motion forward, councillors are opting to make that decision.
Okay, so we'll proceed as we are on this path. So we have a mover. We have Councillor Lockett has moved this. Councillor Murray has seconded. Both have spoken. Any other councillors wish to speak for or against? Councillor Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. I speak for the motion. I think anything to do with active contracts and contract laws, as guided by our governance rules, it is important that it remains confidential. Thank you.
It's Councillor Ryan. Any other councillors want to speak for or against? If not, I'll come back to you, Councillor Lockett, as the mover of this motion.
Thank you, Mayor. It's brought up a new curly one, and our governance rules will be updated for going forward. And often policies come through and any changes, no, looks like we've got one now. So, we're an ever evolving machine that we are here. And as it's been highlighted, it's a contractual matter, so it does need to be confidential.
Thanks.
Appreciate everyone's support to do that as we need to.
Thank you, Councillor Lockett. Okay, we'll put this to the vote. All those in favour, please. Okay, that is Councillor Murray, Councillor Ryan, Councillor Lockett, Councillor Foster. Those against? Councillor Taylor, Councillor Ross and Councillor Dukas. The motion is carried. And thank you, councillors and staff, for your patience as we grappled with that little interesting governance question. Now that we have dealt with that, we'll move on to item 4, the CEO meeting schedule and activities report. And I'll ask our CEO, Mr. Everstein, to speak to this one, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for the opportunity to update council. So I'll start with discussing the councillor transition plan, which is in full swing, and I'd like to thank councillors for your involvement in that program and for some of the positive feedback we've received so far, and also some constructive feedback about how we learn to do this better in future terms. Of course, a lot of elements of the transition plan are new, as some of the mandatory requirements have changed. I'd also like to commend the officers for bringing that council transition plan together at really short notice with some of those changes. The council representatives are now determined for the various council committees across Moyne Shire. Those first committee meetings are now starting to occur. So we look forward to having direct community engagement and feedback through these really important forums. The council is in the process now of calling for community members to nominate. So we really encourage community members to participate and get involved in this way, and really important way of engaging with council and both councillors and officers. Council will continue to advocate for Moyne priorities through some of our regional partnerships, including the Southwest Victoria Alliance, and that has also continued their meetings post-election. So there's a campaign at the moment that I'd like to call out where we're seeking further support through federal government funding and reforms to address the childcare shortages, specifically around childcare training and the like. I'd also like to call out additional recruitment is occurring at the moment in our early years space to ready ourselves for 2025. Over the coming months, the works team will continue their focus on road maintenance, particularly given the more favourable weather conditions at this time of year. You'll see further communication, which has already started to occur across the community as these works take place, so to ensure that the community is well aware of these works being carried out by our officers and team. We'll also be adding through our Engage Moyne information around our resealing program and providing more detail across the 80+ kilometres of works underway for this season. So we're very conscious of the importance of roads and look forward to these elements coming together. The summer months, of course, mean fire season, so council has an important role in emergency management should things like bushfires occur. And we are well prepared with our team and staff, some of who put their hand up to be on call across the danger periods. So we thank the staff for that role they play. And also onto the holiday season, we also expect, again, a really busy summer period. Our caravan parks, our visitor information centres, our outdoor maintenance staff and the like are all geared up, ready for that busy season to occur. We know that just how important that is for our tourism and economy right across Moyne Shire. Our financial position, as was stated earlier, is in a solid position. The full year forecast has improved, although we would like it to improve further, and we'll keep working to that in the weeks and months ahead. I'd like to just call out a couple of other items, particularly within the report. The planning decisions made within the statutory timeframe hit 92% in the month of November, and that's the best performance since we originally started recording that metric back in 2022. So some of the best results in a couple of years, and that's a real reflection of some great work happening within our planning team. We really are conscious of how important working with council is to folks who are engaging council with planning matters. So that's an indication of the degree of change that's occurring in that space for us. A couple of projects nearing completion. There are a long list of projects underway at the moment, but we're really excited. In addition to Freud Football and Netball Club Light launched tonight, which was previously mentioned, but other projects like East Beach and Campbell Street in Port Fairy are getting very close to completion as well. So we're looking forward to those launches as well. I'd like to welcome all of our new team members across Moyne Shire. So many of them are really hitting the ground running, and that's a credit to our staff and officers who are inducting those new team members to really set them up for success as they join our team. And finally, I'd like to thank all of our Moyne Shire team for a job well done across 2024 and really recognise their efforts, which has been one of a lot of change, not just in councillors, but CEO as well. But most importantly, it's all about the positive impact we are seeking to make right across the whole Shire in the way that we serve the community. So thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Mr. Enstein. Questions? Councillor Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. In regards to early years, it would be great to get an update in that space. I understand there was a roundtable discussion recently for the Port Fairy early years offering. It was great to get a recent update from the Manager of Community Services, so it would be nice to hear further to that. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Ryan. Yeah, through to you, Mayor. I'll pass over to Ms Farrell to provide a detailed update there for you.
Thank you. So myself and the Mayor actually attended the parent roundtable last night. So we had a small group of mothers from Port Fairy Community Centre. I think it was quite a productive meeting. So we heard lots of good ideas that we'll take on board, specifically around improving the communications processes, earlier communication and the form of communication that we do. So we actually gave an undertaking that we'll actually run a couple of dedicated information sessions each year, which could also include introducing banners to broader staff, the people who are caring for their children. We also were able to outline to the parents the range of activities we're currently undertaking, both in relation to recruitment, and we gave a 99% assurance, subject to medicals and police checks that are currently going on, that we'll actually be able to be in a position to fulfil the places for next year and possibly grow some of the places. We also talked about some of the other initiatives that we're looking at, including a kind of grow your own trainee program and looking at some further works internally to that site to be able to lift the number of places we provide overall. So we heard some really, I think, constructive feedback from the parents around their concerns, and fully kind of empathise and appreciate the knock-on effect of not being able to either get into a place or not get the days or the number of days you need. Particularly last night was an interesting cohort, probably representative of a broader group of professionals that we're missing out on in the community because they either can't return to their nursing, physio, or whatever background they've come from. So we're really cognizant of what we heard last night and the impact. And we gave a number of undertakings to look at some of those improvements, some of the systems improvements with our enrolment process, the timing of our enrolment process as well, but a lot of communication type improvements, I think, was fair to say.
Thank you, Ms Farrell. Other questions? Councillor Lockett.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a question regarding bins, and I'll waste no time. We've just good to see we've got an extra recycling bin collection, and I believe the bins are being moved today. So I just thought I'd ask a question about that to disseminate to the community if possible.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Lockett, for your question. I might refer to Ms McNamara to respond.
Through you, Mayor. Sorry, Councillor Lockett, can you please
Yeah.
give me what you need?
Absolutely. On page 32 of the CEO report, so just good one to highlight to our community that we've got an extra bin collection because everyone gets lots of Christmas presents and obviously we're trying to reduce our waste on the planet, but alas, we still have quite a bit of waste. But yeah, so just thought it would be a good one to highlight to our community about the extra recycling bin collection that we have between the 30th and so I suppose I'm answering the question a little bit myself. Apologies.
Through you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Lockett, and we'll be also ensuring that it's well publicised to our socials and our website. So if the community keep an eye on that, we'll update on any additional collections that we might have. Thank you.
Any other questions to Mr. Everston?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Mayor. To our CEO, on page 11 of your report, there are 4 pictures of East Beach, and we can see in those pictures 2 Norfolk pines. Do you think it's efficient use of the area under those pines? Considering yesterday was such a hot day, somebody wanted to shelter under those trees, how would they do that comfortably with all those rocks under there? Or does that make it easier?
Through you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Dukas, for the question. Yeah, so the intention of the rocks are dual purpose, but I might invite Ms Farrell to respond to just the layout of those rocks. They're used for, I think, seeding purposes and other means as well.
Through the Mayor, that's pretty much the answer. There are some, and you can see in the on your page, Councillor Dukas, on the top left, there's some kind of ledge looking.
Sorry, you might have misunderstood the question.
Yeah.
If you look at those 2 trees,
Yeah.
under there is that, well, I'll call it crushed rock that come from Salt Creek, small little pebbles, very sharp, underneath both trees. Now, if somebody, especially kids, look, there's a lot of kids running around in bare feet, how are they going to stand under those trees and for shelter from the sun on those stones? The question was efficient use of that public open space. Is that the right thing to have under those trees? Crushed rock that serve no useful purpose and deny people the opportunity to shelter in the shade.
Through the Mayor, if we could take that on notice, I will.
Please do, because there's a lot of angry people out there.
I will confirm whether that's the completed version in terms of the surface works, but you make a good point, and if we can upgrade it so it's a more appropriate surface for.
Or downgrade it and remove it altogether and put the lawn back, it'd be bloody brilliant.
We'll take that on notice and get back to you. Thank you.
Any further questions to Mr. Stein?
Yeah.
Yes, Councillor Dukas.
Thank you. On page, we're going to 107 now. Anyway, awarded under delegation. So it might go to Ms Farrell. Supply of a 3-disc player for emergency management. Could you explain the use of a 3-disc player, what value that would be in emergency management?
Through the Mayor, if I could please take that.
Yeah, you can take that on notice.
And if
That's
I
funny.
may, just in relation to the previous question, so the rocks that you see in those photos are for landscaping and for informal seeding, and still take your point about the type of coverage, but there are also 2 shelter shades going up in the area, so there are going to be areas for shade. The crushed rock, the intent of that is so that it is permeable in terms of water being able to drain away.
I asked the question about practical use. Now, I don't care how naive some people might be out there in the community. People talking to me want to know why you would put a heap of bloody crushed rock under a Norfolk pine where people would like to stand in the shade. And kids with bare feet, how are they can't stand on it. You can't walk on it in thongs. What are you going to do? Put your boots on to stand under a tree. Seriously, we're the laughing stock when you look at that development there, especially when it comes to those crushed rocks. One good thunderstorm, where do they end up? On the footpath or out onto the beach.
Councillor Dukas, do you have any questions? Any further questions?
Yes, I do. On page, we're getting back to page 11 there, 118 on page 11, to do with the Mortlake South Wind Farm. Right, now it says the wind farm is operational and commissioned. Well, if it's operational and commissioned, there should have been a noise report within the first 12 months. I think it should have started within the first 2 months of operation. So have we received, I know they went to ground zero because they was doing work on it and doing noise reports, but have we got a genuine, legitimate noise report from that company?
That might be a question for Ms McNamara.
Thank you, Mayor. I might take it further on notice, but the Minister for Planning is the responsible authority for that planning permit, and the EPA are responsible for the noise monitoring. We will make inquiries to see if that has been reported in, but we do know that there are turbine repairs that are still underway at the moment. But I might take that on notice to provide further information, Councillor Dukas. Thank you.
I believe the noise reports can come to us. And is anything being done about all the complaints? Have they been addressed?
Ms McNamara?
Through you, Mayor, in relation to noise complaints, we ensure they are forwarded on to the EPA. We can follow up to see whether.
Are they all, I'll take it on notice, I'll talk to you. Because there's a few questions. They're not always related to the EPA.
Okay.
We know what the
Any
EPA
further
are like.
questions to Mr Eberstein?
No, I'll let him off now. That's enough.
We'll move then to item 5, which is the CEO activities report. Anything further to your attention to there, Mr Eberstein?
Thank you, Mayor, and through you, Mayor. No, look, nothing further. It has been I guess, a busy period of time for all councils internally as we've worked through the council law transition program. I'm really pleased with, I guess, the end product, and as councillors are working through that program now. I think there's still more to go, so we'll continue to complete some of that early into the new year. But I think I'd just like to call out to some of the external folks from across the industry who have helped us with that program. I think that's been invaluable, and we're certainly benefiting from reaching out beyond Moyne to learn how to accommodate the requirements of local government moving forward.
Thank you. Any questions, Mr Eberstein, on his activities? If not, I'll call now for a motion to suspend standing orders so that we can consider the confidential items before us today. Currently, seconded please, Councillor Ryan. To the vote, all those in favour? Carried 7-0, and thank you to those who have persisted with us online today. We wish you a very Merry Christmas.